What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I am your host, Robert, and today we're going to be talking about how far will you go for your creativity, friends, and family. So let's get to it. All right. What's up, y'all? We are back for another episode. As always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener or watcher, then welcome back. We are here for another week and another opportunity for some great conversations here on Dad Needs to Talk, where it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, video games, and all things life in general. So, yeah. So I hope everybody out there has had an awesome week/weekend. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of been in a little bit of a weird headspace the last few days. Really the last week. I think it's just been a mixture of just like so many things just happening. Kind of like culminating all together all at one time. So kind of going through a little mixture of different life changes and just a lot of just different stuff just going on. Because like I mentioned last episode, I made the transition from being a contractor at my job to being a full-time internal employee, and so of course, tons of headaches that go along with that stuff, because just a lot of just just a lot of headaches and stuff, man. Because a lot of stuff that I had access to, or whatever, like last Tuesday, I guess, when they flipped the switch and was transitioning me over, stuff got all types of jacked up. Like I lost access to certain network shares and files and folders I couldn't touch no more. Got that fixed. Then found out, I think it was Friday, that I lost access to the ticketing system, so I couldn't look up any ticket stuff. So that put me back there. Then earlier today, found out I lost access to be able to log into a specific type of machine at work. So that was another thing that's getting worked on now. So so like I said, work was just a whole weird ball of wax, and yeah, and I feel like I don't know, I will say, something I'm not gonna touch on it too much or whatever, but like another thing is kind of like messed up, just like maybe not messed up, but just kind of like shook me a little bit. Over the weekend, I received the unfortunate news that one of my teachers from college had passed away in a very unexpected way, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. But just hearing of that situation and stuff, it just really, I don't know, just anytime you're dealing with loss, death, anything like that, just kind of, you know, just sometimes just makes you think about just different things. Um, not just in relation to that person, but just kind of like reflecting on your life in general. And I'm not gonna try to not gonna try to not get too sappy or whatever. No, up here up in front, but yeah, but so for this episode, I'll just say, things will flow a little differently this episode, because we're kind of getting towards the end of the year, and I do have some awesome stuff planned. I already have, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not gonna say 100% what's going on, but I'll just say, hopefully, if things go as planned, the last episode of this year and the first episode of next year, hopefully happening, back to back with no delays, little to no delays. I have some things in the works that I'm trying to pull together for those episodes. And I hope and think that y'all will love them a lot. Like I said, it'll be pretty fun episodes, both of them. One reflective and one kind of looking forward. I guess it's the best way I can kind of tease those two episodes. But yeah, so like I said, just like with different stuff going on this past week, like I said, just like life stuff going on, things changing, coming and going. So yes, like I said, we're just gonna kind of just talk and just see where things take us. We're gonna cover. I'm gonna kind of just like do like quick little recaps of the Game Awards stuff from some game announcements, as well as like some winners of different categories that I found interesting. I finished up Guardians of the Galaxy a few hours ago, so I'm gonna touch on that a little bit. As well as like a few anime and TV stuff and a little bit of manga stuff. But like I said, probably won't be like as in depth on a lot of that stuff as usual. But I feel like there's gonna be kind of like a coincidental theme that's gonna kind of run through a lot of stuff I'm gonna talk about today, just by chance, because a lot of stuff, a lot of episodes I watched this week, a lot of manga I read this week, just even the Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like it all kind of ties underneath the theme of what I'm gonna talk about in a little bit, of just like how far will you go for both your creativity as well as your friends and family. And so yeah, so with that being said, just like one little quick thing I just want to just shout out, just like life wise or whatever. We got to see a very awesome thing with my oldest son's basketball stuff. So, I told y'all, he plays for multiple teams, but the team that like really got him going, the Marlins, shout out to Coach Kendrell, that's the team that like really got him going. And so basically it was a reunion game this weekend. And what I mean by that is that, so my son, he hadn't really got to play with that team for probably like over a year or so. And that mainly just because of timing and distance, because they primarily practice like out in like the Carrollton area, whereas we're kind of more, a little bit further down than that. And so, years back, it wasn't, it sucked, but it wasn't that crazy for us to drive out there for practices and stuff. But just over the years, as more of my other kids and stuff, as I talked about, have gotten into doing sports and stuff as well, it's just not very feasible for us to try to go out to Carrollton multiple times throughout the week or whatever. So, but anywho, so now this season, they're coming down and playing in the Grapevine League, which is where we primarily play at. And so with that, for one of the games that he had this weekend, a lot of the kids from that team came, basically pretty much everybody from their original team. And keep in mind, my son, he just turned 13. So most of the kids on the team, they're 11 to 13 years old. They have been together since they were like 6, 7 years old. So this is a team that's been going together for like 6, 7 years, and it was just very awesome just getting a chance to see a lot of the other parents again, getting to see how much a lot of the other kids have grown. Because a lot of them, a few of them have, stuck with the team, but a lot of them have gone on to play with other teams and stuff as well, like how my son did, just same thing, like just timing and just different life stuff is going on for everybody. But it was just so awesome just getting a chance to see everybody come back together, and they came through and they pulled out a pretty big win, considering the fact that most of them hadn't, it was no practice. It was just cold turkey, just hey, everybody show up at this day and time. Everybody still had their jerseys and stuff, whatever, show up this day and time, and we'll play, and it was like, you know, it was like nothing had changed, and you could see, but things had changed because you could see the improvement in all the kids and all the players and stuff. See how much everybody has grown and the different experiences that they've gained, you know, and other things that they've been doing, and bringing it back to the team. Because I was laughing because one of the parents who used to be one of the like assistant coaches and stuff back then, uh, he was kind of joking about how my son doesn't, you know, basically he's grown up a lot, and in a sense of, you know, I've mentioned before, like my son, my oldest, you know, he's had like sometimes, you know, quick tempered, and you know, he used to be like when he first started, he was like super uncoordinated, clumsy, always falling, couldn't stay on his feet for nothing. But everybody's seeing like how much he is, you know, how far he's come and how much he's improved and stuff. And so that was just, you know, like I said, just very awesome, just all around. Like I said, just that event and stuff. So, but yeah, so shout out once again, like I said, to that team. It was just a super awesome, cheerful moment. You know, like I said, just getting everybody together and stuff. So let me see. So from there, I'm trying to think, where do I want to go? I don't know. I'm trying to think, because I don't think I have anything else as far as like housekeeping and stuff going on. Like I said, pretty much just business as usual. You should see podcast episodes still going on for the foreseeable future for the next, you know, several weeks or whatever. I will hopefully on my YouTube channel by the end of the month have a manga haul of all the different manga volumes I've picked up over November and December. I'll have that going up, and potentially another little video. Don't know. I'm working on to see if I can pull together the material for it and stuff. So, but just know I have some pretty awesome things hopefully lined up for the remainder of the year into the beginning of next year. So yeah, so let's go and just jump into some stuff. So just a couple of little quick news things I want to touch on. So first off, I want to give a shout out to the homie Silent P. He just released chapter 3 of his comic called Space Crush. So y'all should remember me talking about his comic a couple of times before in the past. Well, he just released chapter 3 over the weekend, so I read it, enjoyed it, as I have his other works and stuff as well. And yeah, just want to encourage y'all, hey, go check out his comic and give it a read and go show him some love. I believe, let me see real quick. Yeah, so his Twitter handle is @comicbook_P. So like I said, he also goes by, like I said, Silent P. So yeah, go check it out. Space Crush. It's a spacecrushcomic.ghost.io. So yeah, go show the homie some love. All right, so let's move on to recapping a little bit of the Game Awards stuff. So, I don't know. I guess I'll kind of run down some of like the Game Awards winners. Let me see. I'm just gonna just go through some of like the main ones. Let's see. Indie Game of the Year, Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's one I still want to play. I'm having to budget a bit more because, man, like, you know, going from weekly pay to getting back on track to doing, you know, every 2 weeks or whatever. I had to kind of like limit myself, like, okay, I can't really buy anymore, no more frivolous spending on any more manga and stuff, which saddens me because, real quick, slight tangent, I found out 2 things this weekend. One, I found out that that volume 2 of Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games came out. I had no clue it was even anywhere near coming out, but yep, it's out. And so I went to Barnes & Noble to at least just look at it, look around or whatever, and I saw it. But when I got there, I found something else unexpected I did not know was coming anytime soon. Die Dark Volume 3 was out. And for me, that was very tough. It required a crap ton of willpower to not walk out of there with both of those. Honestly, I walked out of there empty-handed, which is saying a lot for how stringent I'm trying to be with myself on, hey, no more frivolous spending. Hey, maybe Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus, might bring me some sweet manga for Christmas. But as far as like me kind of spending and stuff right now, I had to unfortunately walk away. But like I said, it's like I found out about one, got there and found another one. I was like, oh my God. And then I also discovered a whole other series. I'm trying to think. I think it's called, what was it called? I think it's called like Murcielago. And that whole series was pretty much up on the it was just like on the shelf or whatever. And this is a Barnes and Nobles that I frequent pretty often. So usually, it's pretty easy for me to kind of spot new stuff, whatever. Especially when it's like a whole series of stuff. I think they had like volumes like 7 to like 16 or something, whatever. They had a lot of them. And so I started looking at it, whatever. And basically, just quick synopsis on this, whatever. Mass murderers. Whoops. Why won't you show me the full description? Okay. Mass murderers may not have much by way of career skills, but Kuroko Kuromi seems to have landed her dream job as a hit woman for the Tokyo police, a license to kill other killers. That's some serious job satisfaction right there. So yeah, so I saw that and I put a post on Twitter, and several people whose opinions I really trust on stuff, whatever, Panda, my homie Bilal from Kame House podcast, and I think it was and Mama Loves Manga. All three of them and a couple other people there was like, yeah, hey, that's some heat. And so I'm like, okay, I'm putting it on my radar as well. So, but yeah, so like I said, it was just, I went into the den of temptation this weekend and I walked out. So, but anyway, so let's get back on track with these announcements, whatever. So let's see. Don't really care about most of this stuff. Best fighting game, gets to Gear Strive. Best RPG, Tales of Arise. Best action adventure, Metroid Dread. Best action game, Returnal. Let's see. Best ongoing game, Final Fantasy XIV. Games for Impact, Life is Strange True Colors. I agree with that. Very awesome. Best voice actor performance went to Maggie Robertson for her role as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. So that was very awesome. Very dope seeing her win that. Best score and music, Nier Replicant. Best art direction, Deathloop. Best narrative, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which, hey, after I just finished playing it or whatever, I don't know if I would say it's 100% my best, but I can definitely see the argument for it being the best. Best game direction, Game Loop, and the big one, Game of the Year, went to It Takes Two. Now, It Takes Two, that's one I haven't played yet. I want to play. Maybe it might be a fun one to maybe try to play with my wife. I don't know. But It Takes Two takes the crown for 2021 Game of the Year from the Game Awards and stuff. So yeah, so shout out to It Takes Two. Now, as far as like some announcements, like I'm gonna run through some of the bigger ones. So we got to see some gameplay for the first time for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, the gameplay I liked what I saw. I feel very comfortable and confident in more than likely, if my money is right, hopefully getting to buy this day one whenever it comes out, because it's made by Rocksteady, which for those who might not know, made the Batman Arkham series. So Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. all three freaking awesome games. If you have not played any of them, play them. They are some of the best fluid hand-to-hand combat games. Like that fighting system that they made in the game, that combat system, still one of the best out there. And like I said, this team made it or whatever. And honestly, now that I think about it, because you get to control, 4 different people with Captain Boomerang, King Shark, Deadshot, and Harley Quinn. Now in my brain, just finishing Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever, where you just controlled Star-Lord, but you issued commands to the other Guardians, whatever. I'm actually kind of more excited for this, whatever, because I'm kind of picturing, Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, but with the Batman Arkham system, whatever, so to speak. So excited for that. Star Wars Eclipse, it's going to be made by Quantic Dream, which is the studio who made games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and what is it? Become Human. How can I forget? Quantic Dream Games. What is it? Detroit Become Human. Just I can't remember that part of it. So we'll see what that is. There's a Wonder Woman game that got announced, and it's being produced by Monolith, which are the people who made the Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor games. Now, Shadow of Mordor, I never finished the Shadow of War, the sequel, but that first game, Shadow of Mordor, I freaking loved that game. That was like one of my favorite games that came out that year. I believe that was 2014. And that's another one that had like super freaking awesome gameplay. So knowing how their gameplay system works, that with the Wonder Woman game, sign me up. I'm all in. They announced Alan Wake 2, which is right now listed for 2023. But I never really played. I never played the first Alan Wake game. I always heard good stuff about it, but back then it was a Xbox exclusive. Didn't have an Xbox, but now it's on everything. But I also have a million Xboxes in my house now, thanks to my wife and kids. So maybe I'll still check it out at some point. But Alan Wake 2 is in production, which is 10 years after the first game, which is pretty crazy. And it's going to be more in like a survival horror genre. So, yeah, very interested in checking that out. I didn't see this announcement, but I'm seeing it listed here. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which it is going to be made by the people who did the Friday the 13th game. So kind of like an asynchronous type of game where you have like one person as the killer and a bunch of people trying to survive and stuff. So, yeah. Got to see the first gameplay for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, which I really enjoyed the first game. Different, really good game. Like if you ever played Hellblade, if you can have some good headphones on, because that game is definitely meant to be played with headphones for you to kind of like experience the psychosis and stuff that the main character goes through with all the different voices she's hearing from all directions and stuff. So yeah. Let's see. They showed the first trailer for a new Halo TV series that's coming out on Paramount Plus next year. So go ahead and do the double Sonic header. So we got to see the first trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, and it looks freaking fun. I really enjoyed that first movie. If you have not seen that first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, go watch it. It is super awesome. Both, just if you just want to watch it yourself as an adult, or if you have kids, fun for everybody, the whole family. I watched it with my kids and stuff. We all equally enjoyed it, and they're very excited for this one. So excited for that. And it was very cool. We finally got to see Knuckles and Idris Elba, who's voicing Knuckles, show up in the trailer in one of the most badass ways, where Sonic goes to spin at him and he just kind of, stops him, whatever, basically. But it was just a really dope scene or whatever. So excited for that. That's coming out April of next year. And we also got to see the first trailer for Sonic Frontiers, which is a open world Sonic game. And when I say open world, like the way they showed the trailer and the environment and stuff, whatever, it's like they're trying to do like a Sonic version of Breath of the Wild, because they would show Sonic go up on the cliff, look across this giant land, and he was pinning across all these different environments and stuff, whatever. So interested to see how that's gonna go. It's listed for fall of next year, so be on the lookout for that. Let's see. I don't really care about Among Us coming to VR. Don't care. My kids play. I don't really care about it. Let's see. What else? Not seeing too much else on here. They finally gave a date for the new Cuphead DLC. They got it listed for June 30th. So be on the lookout for that. Called Cuphead DLC called The Delicious Last Course. Actually, I still need to play that myself. I never actually played it myself. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess I'll give like a quick little shout out to that trailer and stuff for that Warhammer 2 game. I've never played any of that series, but that trailer and that gameplay looked really dope. And they have what's his name? Clive, who he's the actor that played Rollo in the Vikings live action series. So that was just really dope. But yeah. So that's it pretty much for the Game Awards announcements. Only other like piece of news I just want to just shout out or whatever, they put out the cover for Volume 13, which is the final volume for No Guns, No Life. Let me see real quick. So yeah, so really dope looking cover there for the final volume of the series. Now, No Guns, No Life, I've talked about it before, but this is one I really enjoyed both seasons of the anime. Don't hardly hear anybody really ever talk about this series in general, but yeah, but I'm very excited for this. Like I said, I might end up just jumping over and just like reading the manga now that it's over, just because I don't know when and if we might get more of the anime. And I know, so this is what volume 13, and I think the anime barely, I think it might have got to maybe like cover up to like volume 7 or something like that. I know for sure it was under, still in the single digits or whatever. So there's still plenty more for me to see and to experience with this series. But yeah, so No Guns, No Life. Shout out to them, like I said, and that coming to an end. But yeah, so all right. And last little thing I just shout out or whatever, because I'm not gonna talk about it too much in depth. But I just want to shout out Craig of the Creek. They put the episodes of the series up on HBOMAX finally. So all 3 seasons, not every single episode or not fully current. There's been like a few episodes that's come out recently, whatever. Those aren't on there, but everything through the Capture the Flag arc. And Craig of the Creek, y'all have heard me talk about it before, but it is a super awesome series. One that it is kind of like a nice comfort series, not only for me to watch, but for me to also watch with my kids, especially Vash. He loves it. Loves hearing the little intro theme music or whatever playing. But yeah, but Craig of the Creek is a very awesome series, and I am just very excited to continue to watch it. So go check out Craig of the Creek. So trying to think where to go from here, cause we'll just kind of just talk through this and just kind of see where it takes us. I'm trying to think. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of stuff that I played, read, watched this week just all kind of coincidentally kind of rolled around or kind of ended up centered around what I'm calling kind of like a central theme of like, how far will you go for your creativity and your family and friends? And of course, with the creativity side, that's kind of more so with like Blue Period, uh, and which I definitely got to talk about that in a minute. But also watch this movie on Netflix called The Unforgiving, uh, and just current stuff that's going on in the My Hero Academia manga, Doctor Stone manga, as well as this manga volume I read called Frieren Beyond Journey's End. So, like I said, I'm gonna go into in depth on a lot of these, but starting off with, trying to think where to even begin, to be honest, man, because it all kind of interweaves and stuff so far together. But I guess I'll kind of start with Blue Period. So Blue Period, and once again, this is the anime that's about characters kind of basically like finding their way with their art and their basically just like their creative crafts. And so even though I'm not a traditional artist myself, I've talked about before how this series, if you're a content creator like me, whether you're making YouTube videos, podcasts, just anything creatively that you're doing, I definitely just super recommend checking out Blue Period. Actually, right before I hopped on the podcast, I hopped in a Twitter space with one of my friends. Shout out to Mama Cam, aka Cam with the Yams. She did a little a Twitter space where everybody just kind of just vibing and just talking about different anime that we've gotten to watch and stuff, whatever. And we kind of was shouting out maybe some anime that we felt like kind of like went under the radar a little bit, or has been going under the radar. And obviously, we just talked about Ranking of Kings and Odd Taxi and series like that, To Your Eternity, Vivi, so on and so forth. I had mentioned Blue Period, and so something happened on this week's episode of Blue Period to where basically our MC, and forgive me, I can't ever remember his name. Man, how can I never remember this young lad's name? Yaguchi, Yatora Yaguchi. To where basically, they're kind of going through the second phase of their exam, or they're getting ready to go into the second phase of their exams. And so, of course, they're going to have to do a bunch of practice and stuff. But along the way, his friend Ryuji, they end up reaching out to basically, so their friends, so Ryuji during the exam, just for the first exam, whatever, on their canvas or whatever, they just drew a giant X and walked out, pretty much just deciding to just give up on their dream of being an artist. And so, they start working, side jobs and doing different stuff, whatever. And they end up reaching out to Yaguchi. Basically, it's basically a cry for help, more or less, because Yaguchi, or Ryuji, aka Yuka, is kind of going through multiple transitions and stuff to where, their family isn't, or primarily their mother and father isn't really being open or accepting to them kind of changing how they dress, how they act, different things like that. But they have full support of their grandmother, which is so sweet. She is such a sweet person. But, Ryuji throughout the episode was reaching out to Yaguchi about stuff. And there comes a moment where it's late at night. Ryuji calls Yaguchi, and basically just pulls the thing of like, hey, where you at? Can you come over, or can you come meet me? And Yaguchi was like, it's late, it's a school night type of thing. Like, I gotta be up early in the morning for school. And Ryuji was just like, yep, yeah. You are the model student, basically saying like, yeah, that's what I expected you to say. And then Ryuji basically kind of gave a couple of hard-hitting quotes that I kind of just want to read off. The first one, like I said, it kind of just like kind of got my brain running, like really got me started connecting the dots to a lot of stuff I've been seeing and experiencing recently in a lot of, like I said, the shows I've been reading, watching, games I've been playing and stuff. But first one was, if someone is drowning, you'd bring a lifesaver, but you'd never jump into the sea yourself. And then the second one was, if someone is crying naked, you'd give them clothes and listen to them, but you'd never take your clothes off. And so both of these basically really hit because in a sense it's basically like yes, you would come and offer, you would help, but you also wouldn't fully step into the shoes of the person that you are trying to help to see why they are in their situation and trying to get that perspective of it. Because yes, yeah, we can help people, whatever. Like, oh, hey, you're homeless, you're hungry or whatever. Here's a few dollars or whatever. But, you might not go to actual step to actually, okay, what's going on? How further can I help you? Hey, let me take you, go get something to eat. Or just different stuff like that, and that really hit, cause and it kind of really, like, hearing that really made Yaguchi, like, it just kept eating at him the whole next couple of days or whatever, which he was, he was like mentally torn because he is preparing for this big next phase of this exam, but he is also has this friend who he knows something's not right, something's going on, but and he can't focus on doing more in the arts because he is concerned and worried about his friend. And so yeah, so just overall, like, the episode was just it was just so good. Like I said, from the grandmother being there and supporting Ryuji to Yaguchi basically taking those steps of trying to better understand what his friend is going through from their perspective. And I feel like, that's something that I feel like a lot of us, myself included, I can definitely do, way better at. Because sometimes, my kids might say stuff, whatever, and I might immediately respond a certain way or pop off with this and that. But then it's like, okay, I take a second, like, okay, hey, let's slow down, explain to me what's going on, what's happening, and trying to, see things from their perspective of like, okay, this is why XYZ happened, or this is how things played out the way they did. Like I said, just taking that moment to, like, really just understand and get to know a person. And kind of sticking along with that vibe with the Guardians of the Galaxy game. So this game, and I still might touch on Blue Period a little bit here as well. So my time sets might be a little weird today, but we'll just see how this kind of goes. I just want to just talk. So with Guardians of the Galaxy. So one thing about this game I did not expect was how much, of course we all know with the Guardians, it's all about the characters. But and we all know that all these characters have gone through a lot of different stuff, but I did not expect for us to deep dive into a lot of these traumas and pains and coming to accept different situations or whatever that they went into depth with in this game. Cause you're helping Drax come to terms of, him, constantly or forever still mourning the loss of his wife and child. and there's like a slight phase of the game where y'all actually have to go into his brain and basically convince him to basically like, hey man, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, this is not real. Your family is gone. You have to let them go. And it's like, hey, me and the other guardians, we're here for you, to help you and to help support you. And one thing I liked about, like, with missions like that, it kind of in a ways not as big and grandiose, but it kind of reminds me a bit of for anybody that's played Mass Effect 2, the loyalty missions that you get to do with all the different crew members. That was one thing I super loved about that game, was just getting to do different missions and objectives and just different story stuff, that which a lot of it is completely optional. Because, hey, you know what? Hey, I have my 2 crewmates that I really love. I don't care about the rest, but you can literally go through and just strengthen the bond of every single person on your crew and get to find out more about their backstory, who they are, why they do what they do, what troubles they're going through. And that is kind of what you get to go through in Guardians of the Galaxy, of just kind of, coming to grips and understanding, and just the links all these characters will go through for each other, as well as for their personal stuff that they're dealing with. Like I said, with Drax, and the lengths he was going to try to keep his illusion of his family and stuff going, to Gamora dealing with some trauma of something that she had to do, in regards to, because heck, they even talk about, Gamora, when what's her name, when Mantis comes into the game, and just how how at one point she kind of had to go on the journey of basically like therapy in a sense, whatever, like trying to figure out, coming to terms with something very major that she had to do. I'm trying not to spoil everything about all this different stuff, but yeah, but just something very major she had to do. Same thing with Rocket, dealing with, finding out more about the experiences that he went through, because we all, or me as somebody who, only stuff I know about the Guardians is the stuff that I've learned from the MCU movies. But I know enough from that, of knowing that Rocket was experimented on heavily a lot. And, that's kind of why, for one, how he's a freaking talking animal, but why he is also so closed off from a lot of people. And, why he has certain fears and stuff like that, get into like why he's afraid of water. At first, I liked how in the game, it definitely had its very serious moments, but they also interweaved the comedy and the camaraderie of all the characters in so well, to where it kind of helped ease you into some of these tougher subjects and stuff. But yeah, Guardians, like I said, just really surprised me. Like I said, just how in depth it went into, like I said, and just seeing how far the characters would go for each other, as well as for their own personal beliefs and families and things of that nature. So yeah, so that was, Guardians was super good, super good. Next one I kind of want to touch on a bit. I guess I'll briefly touch on Ranking of Kings a little bit. So this episode of Ranking of Kings, like I said, just kind of sticking on the theme, whatever, and I feel like this whole series as a whole has really, when you kind of think of like what a person would go through for both their creativity as well as their family, we have seen on both sides of the coin how far King Bose will go for himself in some very selfish ways, and then also how far he will go for his family, and how far Queen Hilda will go for her kids and stuff. Um, and yeah, this whole episode honestly was just really a true, another just like really great example of just this whole theme of like how far will a person go. Cause that one scene later in the episode where I can't remember his name, but basically the shield of the four guardians or whatever of King Bosa's army or whatever, the one that was tasked with protecting the queen, just like how far he went to protect her and things of that nature. So yeah. And last thing I kind of like said, for at least core for this whatever, like last show series or whatever, I kind of want to touch on whatever. So this movie, The Unforgivable. Now, let me kind of look at this cast list real quick. The Unforgivable. Now, this is something that honestly I just saw float across my timeline because of Miss Viola Davis is in the movie. She doesn't play like a really big role, but she is in it enough for me. But because I follow her on Twitter and she had retweeted like a clip or a trailer or something for this movie or whatever. And honestly, I didn't even have to watch the trailer. I was like, oh, okay. Viola Davis is in it. Sure. I'll watch it. That as well as like I was like reading through like some people's impressions and stuff of the movie or whatever over right after I saw that or whatever, and it was pretty positive. So the core cast is the main character is Sandra Bullock, John Bernthal is in it, Viola Davis, Vincent D'Onofrio, and some other people, whatever. But that's kind of like some of like our more main core cast. And so basically, this series or this movie, like really, there's probably along with Blue Period, kind of like the, well, and Guardians too. But basically, this movie is another true example of how far a person will go in this sense for their family. Because basically the core crux of the movie is that Sandra Bullock's character, because of some incident that happened that we kind of get like flashbacks to throughout the whole movie or whatever, and then like a big reveal at the end. But basically, it is framed in a way of she went to jail for 20 years for killing a police officer, which that's not the full story, but that is just how things are with that. And so the core of the movie is basically her coming out of prison and trying to take those steps of like reintegrating into society, but not only having the weight of a police officer's death on her shoulders, but also the weight of not knowing what happened to her younger sister. Now, throughout most of the, like early in the movie, where I thought it was her daughter, but find out later on, no, it was actually her younger sister, who at the time of the incident, so like I said, she did 20 years in prison. At the time of the incident or whatever, the younger sister was like 5. So of course, she's 25 now in the present day or whatever. But throughout the movie, like I said, it just really just like her trying to find her place in this world, and all the messiness that comes with this type of situation of you have the adult kids now of the officer that that was killed in the situation. Now they're looking at her a certain way because we heard she got out, and them not knowing the full story, of course, because hey, once again, they were also kids when all this stuff was going on or whatever. But them obviously like blaming her for them not having their dad around anymore. So they're going to some extreme lengths of some stuff they're trying to do to try to get her. And she's also trying to figure out and find a way to find out like what happened to her sister, because of course, Sandra Bullock, she was the last family member of her sister, because I think the mother died during childbirth, the father passed away, and then for majority of the years, it was just her raising her younger sister in their family home. Until this incident happened, and then she went to jail for 20 years, and her younger sister was thrown into the foster care system. And throughout all that or whatever, there was basically kind of like a order placed to where she can't be within a certain radius of the family and all this stuff, whatever. But and I'll just say spoiler for this part of the movie, because I have to talk about this just for the point of the conversation. But so spoiler, it is revealed towards the end of Unforgivable, because so there's a moment where Sandra Bullock, she's basically she has a moment where she is able to potentially get to go meet her, or finally get to reunite, at least just see her sister. And so she ends up, and this is where Viola Davis comes into play, because her husband, Viola Davis's husband, works for like a law firm. And so, and they are living in the home that Sandra Bullock lived in with her family, and that the incident and all this stuff happened in or whatever. So that's how they're kind of all tied together. So anywho, she goes back to that house, whatever, looking for the husband, because she needs to find out basically just some legal information, like, hey, can I go to this thing, yada yada yada. And the only thing that Viola Davis knew, her character knows, is that she found out later on that, oh, this woman that popped up at our house randomly, whatever, a few days ago, is a convicted murderer, yada yada yada. But at first Viola doesn't want to hear it. She's like, no, get away from my house, get away from my family, be gone. And then Sandra has a moment where she starts to break down, and she starts to mumble, she was just a kid. It's not her fault. She was just a kid. And then Viola Davis is like, what is she talking about? And then basically that's where we got the reveal, once again, spoilers, that the younger sister is the one that shot the cop. So basically they were coming to try to I guess evict them from the house or whatever, because maybe they weren't be able to pay or whatever. Because like I said, they were young. Like I said, it's just that this young woman trying to raise her 5-year-old sister with no other family, no other help. And so basically they were moving in on the house to try to get them out or whatever. Well, in the commotion, while Sandra is on the phone with the cops looking out the window, the younger sister heard somebody who was the head chief cop coming in a different way in the house. There was a shotgun or whatever nearby. Little girl grabs the gun, just going by what she just knows, whatever, or what she thinks is right. And she's trying to protect her home. She ends up killing the cop, and then of course the recoil from the gun knocks her out. And so throughout the movie, that's why you're kind of seeing these scenes to where she has like bits and pieces of memories from back then. Plus she was 5, but she has like bits and pieces of some memories from back around that time, but she doesn't know everything. And that's because of the situation, the trauma of it all. And so this was definitely like a really crazy example of how far a person will go for their family. The fact that Sandra did 20 years in prison and is taking on the heavy weight of being called a cop killer, basically, and having this murder put on her shoulders to protect her young sister so that she can have a normal life and different opportunities and stuff, whatever like that. It is just wow. I do wish that like that we kind of would have gotten a chance for the sons of the cop to find out the truth. I'm pretty sure they probably did eventually, but I would have liked for them to kind of touch on that in the movie itself. But but yeah, but man, like I said, like it just like I said, just like really hit. Just like, man, she really did 20 years, and probably would have been longer, but I think she got out like on good behavior or whatever. But it is just, once again, just all these different series, like I said, Blue Period, Guardians of the Galaxy game, the Unforgivable movie, Ranking of Kings. They all just like really just like make you think like, man, like how far will I go to, how far will I go for what I want to do and accomplish with this podcast, with my content? How far will I go, for a friend in need? How far will I go to ensure the safety and well-being of my family? And like I said, just learning, like I said, how far you'll go, as well as like learning when to kind of like accept certain things, because like I said, like dealing with Guardians and helping those characters kind of work through their traumas and deal and accept, the reality of the situations and stuff, uh, and with that being said, I want to, like I said, just bring this into the conversation a little bit real quick as well. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End manga. So this series, more or less, it is in the aftermath of a party of heroes who have just who have just defeated the demon lord or whatever, and the world is safe. Let's rejoice. But it basically deals with what comes afterwards, because two of the characters, they're normal humans. I believe I believe he's a dwarf, and then the main character Frieren, she is a elf. And elves, dwarves live for a long time too, but elves live for thousands of years. And so this series kind of deals with, or at least like from this first volume, kind of really starts to touch on all these different aspects of what I'm talking about, with how far a person will go for others, as well as learning to process and deal with, those losses and friendships that have gone or that are no longer here or whatever. Just because with her being an elf, her perception of time is way beyond, those of a normal human, because there was like an event that happened, like, oh, this only happens once every 50 years. She's like, whatever, I ain't tripping. Oh, I missed it, and I'll come back here in 50 years and see the next event or whatever. And everybody else is like, man, we might not be here for the next 50 years. And so yeah, so like I said, this is just her kind of, like I said, just kind of coming to terms with basically outliving a lot of those characters, because like I said, it does multiple time skips. So 20 years have passed, 40 years, whatever. And she goes back, certain characters have aged up, gotten older, or have passed away or whatever. And, her kind of sometimes either going to great lengths, either for them while they're still here, or going to great lengths to honor their memory, of like, oh, this is something that person said that they always wanted to do, see, experience, whatever. Well, I didn't take it serious, or I feel like I really didn't care back then. Well, now that they're no longer here, I want to honor my friend and, or try to, do the thing they want to do and just see how that makes me feel. And so yeah, but like I said, I'm not going to touch on that too much or whatever. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure, there's like tons of other series and examples and stuff. So, because heck, I'm not going to go into it too much with it, but freaking Tokyo Revengers, the the wild extents that Takamichi goes to try to save his friends and all these different situations and stuff, whatever. And some he's successful in saving, but some he's not. But he is a prime example of, man, how far a person can go, for their beliefs, for their friendships. And yeah, I really don't have too much more specific to say on those different subjects and stuff. So, but like I said, aside from, go check out the Unforgivable movie. Go watch Blue Period. Go play Guardians of the Galaxy game. And like I said, just know, kind of like I said, just going in, of course, like Unforgivable is a little bit more heavy throughout the whole movie, or kind of like a consistent tone more or less throughout the whole movie. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy, they pepper in lots of good or lots of great character moments and laughs and comedy and stuff to help ease you into those more serious moments and stuff, whatever. But I still really, really enjoy that game. Look forward to probably talking about it more soon. And like I said, just Blue Period, just once again, just like really, really just making me think, of how I handle things as a content creator, as well as just kind of just like I said, just really just reflecting on a lot of real life stuff, just like I said, just to be honest. But yeah, I think that might do it for that subject. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I'll touch on these couple of things just super quick, whatever. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy that topic. Like I said, just something a little bit different, whatever. Where like I said, just kind of the way the stars aligned this week with those different things, just kind of having some connective threads. And so yeah, so real quick, I'm gonna just touch on a couple of quick manga things. Not gonna dive into too much stuff, whatever, this week. Like I said, I'm just kind of, like I said, just kind of weird headspace, whatever. But like I said, just want to still just kind of just talk, whatever. So My Hero Academia, let's see, this was chapter 337. So, and I'll make this kind of quick too, because basically this chapter was more or less just kind of continuing with the, dealing with the aftermath of the reveal of Aoyama being the traitor and things of that nature. And throughout all this or whatever, like, so we kind of get a little bit more clarification as far as like the different big moments, where he leaked that information and things of that nature. But, Deku's still pulling through, showing his heart of a hero and not giving up on his friend, his classmate, being like, hey man, I know this is not all you. You are not a pure villain, because if you were, then, you wouldn't have tried to talk to me, back during certain events or different things, whatever. And throughout all this, whatever, when he tries to shoot his laser at Deku, whatever, Invisible Girl deflects it. And when she deflects it, we finally get to see a glimpse of what her face and stuff looks like, whatever. She looks really freaking cute, really adorable. But she is also there pleading along with Deku and stuff of like, hey, like, well, what is going on? What is in your mind? What are you thinking about? I know that this isn't all on you, so that was just really cool, just getting to see her finally revealed. And then, we kind of go to him, like I said, like they turned him and the parents over to the authorities and stuff. And so that's when Deku kind of reaches out to him, as, the teachers and stuff are, and All Might and the police and stuff are talking to Aoyama and his parents and stuff. And right now it seems like he's not going to blow up. like I said, kind of showed a little bit of my concern for last week. But yeah, so that's it for My Hero. Uh, Let me see. I think I wanted to touch on a little bit with Doctor Stone, manga chapter 222, which this one, what was it called? Science Road. So this chapter, it was kind of like a look back culmination of so much from across the whole series because this chapter pretty much they finished making the spacesuits. The spaceship itself is pretty much good to go, and they just end up going on a invention spree because basically with them being able to create a freaking spaceship, anything else is pretty much trivial at this point. So pretty much they're like, hey, before we head off, any requests y'all got for stuff, whatever. And people was just tossing out all types of stuff, whatever. People was like, oh, a washing machine, a video camera, a microwave, a jacuzzi. Somebody asked for a PS5. it was just super awesome, super cute, just seeing, like I said, just all the characters just requesting stuff. And they did go through and make a lot. They made the microwave, they made the jacuzzi, they made saran wrap. They made a washing machine. They made a video camera. And for a Taiju, they made a freaking cell phone with a touchscreen. Of course, it had a freaking gigantic power computer thing that he has to turn around with him. But he's actually able to have like the screen and stuff in his hand, which is just very funny. But yeah, like they do a creation spree. And yeah, we are pretty much set and ready to head towards the moon, which is very exciting, and I'm very curious to see like where things are gonna go from here. But yeah, the moon mission is finally upon us. Yeah, because moon rocket complete is how the chapter ends. So let me see. Just quick shout out to Spy Family, manga chapters 56 and 57, because apparently I missed a chapter. Sorry, I'm typing this up. So these chapters, whatever, basically was just kind of just like we are now in the aftermath of the cruise arc, whatever, and so now the family is back together. And the first chapter was kind of them just having a family day out, a family day together for the first time in a long time with Yor, Twilight, and Anya. And so they do all sorts of like fun little family activities. They go horseback riding, exploring some caves, swinging, building sandcastles, a little petting zoo. So much fun stuff. Freaking scuba diving, surfing. It was just boatloads of fun, and it was just so sweet, so wholesome. Just seeing this family together again. Like I said, just another awesome reminder of like, man, this is why I love this series. And then with chapter 57, it was just so funny just seeing because now Anya goes back to school that chapter, and so of course everybody's talking about like what all they did over the break, and of course she's like, I went on this fancy ship and yada yada yada, and then everybody's just like, I went here, I went there, I got to meet this famous person, yada yada yada, and so she tries to talk about how well we had to deal with some notorious villains snuck on the ship, and she was trying to name them or whatever, and people are like, who? I've never even heard of this person. And then, her friend is talking about this celebrity that she got to meet or whatever. So Anya starts getting jealous, and so she just starts making up all these ridiculous stories and stuff, whatever, which is just funny all around. But yeah, like I said, just super sweet stuff with the Spy Family. So I think last manga I kind of want to touch on. And honestly, this kind of wraps up as well with the whole how far will a person go with stuff. So Kaiju number 8, chapter 52, which, you know, once again, shouts out to my volume of Kaiju number 8, volume 1 I picked up last week. Or chapter 52. So, man, so pretty much it is confirmed. Our fears. The director, he did not take out number 9. Unfortunately, number 9 took over his body as like a new kind of like a host body. And so then we ended up having Kafka, aka Kaiju number 8, and then the first division captain ended up trying to do a tag team fight against him. Just because, because obviously they're like, man, like we can't let you go with our master, our mentor, our director's body like that. And so they end up tag teaming or whatever. And it is just like a super dope fight to say the least. And even when his daughter Kikoru hops in and tries to deal a devastating blow, of course Kaiju number 9 obviously gonna play dirty, and he ends up showing her father's face and saying, "You're this man's daughter, huh?" And it kind of like stuns her for a moment. And but it looks like freaking the director is no longer with us, unfortunately. But the squad, they're trying to hold him in place to try to take him out. Don't know how this is gonna go. More than likely, he's probably gonna make his escape, or whatever. But Kaiju number 8 continues to be real good, real solid. Let me see. I think that's it, cause I have so much stuff I still haven't even read this week. I'm like, shoot, I think I'm 1, 2, 3. I think I'm like 4 chapters behind in My Hero Vigilantes. I am several chapters behind in Dan to Dan, because somebody had asked if anybody was reading it or whatever, and I'm like, I was, but I just kind of just fell behind schedule on it, and I need to get on it or whatever, but I think I'm like 3 to 5 chapters behind on Dan to Dan, because they're on chapter 36. Shoot, it might be more than that. But yeah, so I need to catch up on that. I need to catch up on Solo Leveling again. I'll go ahead and just tease this or whatever. I have started reading lightly, very lightly. I started reading the Fire Force manga. And what I've discovered is that apparently I did not finish the end of season 2. Because I ended up looking up where the manga starts off, or where the manga continues from where season 2 ends. And so I went to that chapter. I think it was like 174 or something like that or whatever. And the manga is currently like on like 270. Or it was more than 100 chapters. Fire Force. Let me see real quick. Oh man, okay, they're on chapter 295. So yeah, so the manga is well over 100 chapters past where the anime stopped at. But anyway, so the thing said like, oh, it's pick up from like chapter 174. So I started reading 174, and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing some context or some stuff. So I went back like a chapter. Still didn't feel right. So I was like, let me go back 10 chapters. So then I started seeing some stuff that I loosely remember from the anime, and then kept on reading forward, and I'm like, and then I went and looked at the season 2 thumbnails or whatever, and something that I had just read or whatever was in the last episode, and I'm like, whoa, okay, somehow I completely got off the rails or missed the end of season 2. So I definitely need to go back and rectify that very soon. But I started watching or started reading Fire Force. like I said, I am still. I started a little bit of Sweat and Soap Volume 2 a little bit over the weekend. I'm still chipping away at Call of the Night Volume 3 manga. And of course, definitely want to dive into Saturn Apartments soon and a bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to think what else. I did start watching, what's his name? Kaiji Gambler. Kaiji. Let me see what's the actual name. Yeah, Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse or whatever. So I started watching the first few episodes of that or whatever. It's okay so far. I'm definitely not in deep enough to have super strong opinions on it or whatever. But yeah, I feel like I don't have too much else to say today or whatever. Like I said, sorry, apologies. If this episode is kind of weird or a little unorthodox, whatever. But like I said, just kind of been like a weird last week or whatever, last several days for me and stuff. So bear with me. Like I said, I hope you found something informational or entertaining or something something for you to ponder and to think about at least from this podcast episode. But yeah, I really feel like I'm just kind of just trying to find stuff to do, talk about it, whatever. And I feel like it's something else I'm missing that I was going to touch on, but it's not coming to mind. So, it is what it is. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I need to catch up on, reading and watching and stuff. But yeah, shoot, man. I don't know that. Honestly, I think I'm just a little bit mentally drained because, like I said, I have a lot on my plate, to say the least, in so many aspects, so many facets, but yeah, like I said, I just have, I think I just really need to just take a step back and just kind of just tackle things just one step at a time, because it's only so much that I can do, for certain situations and stuff, whatever, without over stressing, overthinking and stuff, whatever. Because I've told y'all before, I think a lot, and being a husband, father of 5, it is just it is always a lot going on. It is, learning how to navigate, learning how to navigate just life in general is tough. It's tough when you have a spouse or just somebody that's kind of, you have to kind of coordinate and stuff with, and then it's even tougher on top of that, having mouths to feed, people to support, people that depend on you. So it can sometimes be a lot on my shoulders, and no, honestly, it gets to me sometimes, and honestly, I probably could do better about being open and talking about it a bit more there, because I am very bad about keeping stuff kind of closed off into myself a lot. I definitely need to break that habit. I've been trying to take steps here and there, to try to break those habits and stuff. Whatever. It's very tough, especially certain habits like that I've just had for just so long over the years or whatever. But I just know, because I know overall this last year has just been so much going on, just so much, and I don't need to belabor the point and just talk about things over and over and over. But it's like between the stuff with my sister, the stuff with my mom, personal stuff I have going on here at the house, the kids, this now this work transition, everything. It is just a lot. So all I just ask is just, everybody out there, just keep your boy in your thoughts. Send me all the positive vibes, that I'll just kind of that I'll make it through. I'll push through, and everything will work itself out. Everything will be fine. Like I said, I know it's just a lot of times it takes time, takes patience, and also, not being afraid to reach out to people, to friends, to family, to whoever, to talk, and I appreciate anybody that's still here listening to me doing this little ramble here at the end. I appreciate you for sticking through this, whatever. And, like I said, I know it might be a little weird, like, man, why is this dude talking so much? And if this is your first time listening to the podcast or whatever, apologies, like I said, for things being all over the place. But like I said, it is just the situation of how I'm feeling right now. So, but I am, excited for the potential of things to come. Like I said, I'm excited for these coming podcast episodes to finish out the year, and then to start off next year, as well as stuff even further beyond, because I already have been making my connections, networking, talking with people to get the ball rolling on stuff that is way out, like months and months out. But, like I said, I hope that, y'all have been enjoying, taking this journey with me, because, yeah, it can be tough, but we're going to make it through it. And so, with that, thank you for listening and or watching another episode of Dad Needs to Talk podcast. As always, you can find all my work, everything that I do. The central hub for everything is at dadneedstotalk.com, and follow me on all my socials, at Dad Needs to Talk on Twitter and Dad Needs to Talk podcast on Instagram. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on our streaming services. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and all that fun stuff. And like I said, just thank you as always for taking the time to come check in on your boy and to give me a listen. Thank you for making me a part of your day, part of your week, part of your life. It is, very much appreciated. I thank you to everybody who supports me in all the many ways that y'all do, whether it is y'all reaching out to me through DMs, commenting on my YouTube videos, or even just a simple just liking and just resharing the podcast on your Twitter, your Instagram, or who knows where else this is reached. But yeah, it's all love, and yeah, we'll see where this journey takes us as we get ready to wrap up this year. But I hope y'all have an awesome rest of your day, rest of your week. As always, take care of yourselves. I know I'm going to try to do better by taking care of myself. Make sure you're treating yourself to something nice. Read some manga, watch some anime and TV, play some video games, and just live your life. That's all I can ask for. Y'all have an awesome day. Love y'all. Peace.